Good evening and welcome to yet another edition of Minority Caucus. Tonight we're discussing the fishing industry and the commissioning of the Komenda sugar factory in the Central Region. The Central Region is one of the resourceful yet poorest regions in Ghana. It's one of the regions gravely affected by the poisonous policies of the Mahama government in the last 8 years. Its once buoyant fishing industry has collapsed, resulting in unprecedented levels of poverty and unemployment. In a desperate bid to arrest the deliberately created situation, President Mahama commissioned the Komenda sugar factory while ironically cutting down investment in agric by some 40 million Ghana cedis, and further declared that the factory would create 7,000 jobs. Tonight, we would examine the sector in Central Region as well as the viability of the Komenda sugar factory. We would go for a quick commercials. When we return, I would introduce my guests. Welcome back. My name is Akbar Ruhullah Homaini, and tonight I'm joined by two distinguished personalities from the Central Region. On my right is the Member of Parliament for KEEA and former Central Regional Minister, Honorable Nana Ato-Atta. And on my left is the Central Regional Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party, Richard Techi Mensah. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I will start with you, Honorable Nanata. A couple of days ago, the President commissioned the Komenda sugar factory. You have been in the Central Region all your life. Can you give us an overview, the history behind the factory, and what led to the subsequent collapse of the factory in 1998?
Thank you very much, and let me say good evening to your viewers. It is true, I've been in the region for a while. In 2001, I was appointed by His Excellency John Ajokum Kufuor as a District Chief Executive for Komenda Negua for Abrim. Capital is Elmina. I again became the Deputy Central Regional Minister, and then subsequently the Regional Minister. Until barely 4 years ago, I became the Member of Parliament for Komenda Negua for Abrim. So, as a result, I've been in the region for long, apart from the fact that my secondary school days, were all in the region. I know of Komenda sugar factory. It was in existence before I grew up. Those days, during holidays, that is where we used to go to carry sugar cane, and it was giving us some money. Along the line, the maintenance cost became quite unbearable as a result of the fact that the factory itself was located close to the sea, that is in Komenda. We also told that as a result of mismanagement, things were really going down. We also
mismanagement by who?
The management of the company. Things were not going right, as I could say normal with so many public institutions. Somebody would tell you that this is not for you, it's for our buying, it's for government,
And so they can do anything.
So they can do anything. The time that one needs to get to work, gets to work at about 10 instead of 8 o'clock. Of course, let us remove the battery of a truck from this side, do this, do that. That's one of the causes. Then again, productivity itself was going down. And so when you go to several areas around Abrim Aguna, Abrim Brase, Siam, areas that had actually been recognized as agro communities. Productivity was going down. So put all these together. Around 1998, the company got a halt. And that actually led a lot of
1999.
people. Around 1999, it came to a halt.
So an NDC government was in place when the company collapsed.
Of course.
It has survived virtually every regime until the NDC came.
Exactly. That was during the time of His Excellency President Rawlings. That was during that time. But I must be quick to add that between 83 and 98, not much was going on in Komenda as far as productivity is concerned at the Komenda sugar plantation. So in 1998-99, everything came to a halt. And that is the genesis of Komenda Sugar Estate.
Wow. Richard, how are the people of Central Region receiving it? Because an impression out there is that the NDC under President Mahama brought Komenda Sugar Factory. But the explanation from Honorable Atta suggests that it has existed for so long and the NDC only mismanaged it, only to turn around to create that impression.
Thank you, Agba. Let me also take the opportunity to greet our cherished viewers out there. Agba, let me put it on record that as a party, if there is any genuine effort or move to add value to agricultural produce and therefore create employment for the people and our youth, we will commend that effort.
Absolutely.
But not one that is of propaganda, not one that somebody sees eminent defeats come 7 November, and therefore let me do something to create the impression that indeed
I'm working.
I'm working. That is exactly what is happening. And the people of Central Region, wherever you go, Komenda, Cape Coast, Fansaman, the question that they ask in France, na ashir no one hen. Na ashir or one hen. Because not even at the university level, not even at the SS level, at the GHS level, social studies, we were taught that for you to establish a factory, one of the cardinal factors for you to consider is the raw material.
Absolutely.
Raw material.
Very necessary.
You see, in those days that we had the Ghana Sugar Estate Limited, that's the Giselle or whatever, from my hometown Yamransa all the way to Komenda area, we had a whole stretch of land with sugarcane. And that particular breed was done with the red color for this factory. And because the company collapsed, all these are no more in existence. Only few of them are there. And even those areas that they were used for this plantation, they've all been used for other things. Some of them have even become residential areas.
Okay.
Yes, even from
areas
Kisi,
that were reserved for farming.
Yes, from Kisi to Komenda, where they were planted. All these people have started building along that stretch. So, if indeed, about 3 years ago, you started building this factory, and you have a genuine reason to create employment for the people of Komenda and for the Central Region, and by now, you should have had the sugarcane in place. Because during those days, we had irrigation system drawing water from the River Pra and irrigating the sugarcane so that there could be that sustained supply of sugarcane to the factory. Actually, where is it? You say you've inaugurated or you've commissioned a factory. At the commissioning, then you are calling on the chiefs that they should release lands to the youth to cultivate sugarcane. And today, whoever listened to Joy Midday News, you heard the regional minister making it clear that as we speak, there's no sugarcane. And even now, they are going to test run the machine to cater for, he called it teaching problems. And the actual production will start from October, November. So why the rush to commission
October, November, when we would be preparing for elections?
That will be close to election. So because of election, let's create a plan. We are producing October, November. Oh, we've employed some few people. We are doing something. Then after the election, everything ceases. That's exactly what is being done. We need it. If you have genuine reason to create employment, you go and commission it. By now, commercial should be running produce sugar on the market, even you should have it on the market that, oh, this community, where is it? Look, a week before President Mohammed's tour of Central Region, what he terms account to the people, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Ekospiogram, had been in the region and toured the site with journalists. And he said that at that time, the NDC government was going to India for a loan, $24 million. Then that is what is going to be used for irrigated sugarcane production. Latter part of April till now, what has happened?
So all of these mechanisms were not put in place.
As we speak, they should tell us. And even on the president's tour, he said that was on the 4th of April, May 2016. He said that per the survey that they had done, they had 10,000 tons of sugarcane in the area. Something that is on the field that we've not even harvested. He was not talking about acreage, but talking about tons. That's how confused they are. And whilst the Minister of Trade was saying they were going for a loan to come and cultivate sugarcane, the President was saying that they were going to commission by the end of May and to create about 7,000 jobs. As we speak, Agba, tell me that any youth worth his or her salt will go and cultivate sugarcane and send it to that factory for 1 ton to be bought at 60 cedis, and bonus of what they call 10 cedis. 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms, and that's 20 bags of cement. So 1 bag of cement is 50 kilograms. That's 20 bags of cement worth 60 cedis. Agba, when you are going into cultivation of sugarcane, look at the cost of labor, fertilizer. If you want to have a high yield, all this should be factored in. So if they are telling you that a ton is going to cost 60 cedis, then tell me that this is an incentive enough for our youth to go into sugar production to feed the factory. One thing that the minister said, Dr. Spiogar said, 6-hour drive from Komenda, all those who have sugar cane should bring it to Komenda. So that one stretches to Ashanti region, Volta region, Eastern region. And tell me, that does it make economic sense to cut 1 ton of sugar cane from Ejusu, Konongu, Obogu in Ashanti region to Komenda for it to be given 60 cedis?
60 cedis. The transportation cost alone.
Yes. And if when you do all these things, and at the end of the day, this sugar production is not going to meet all the demand as a country, and you will still be importing, you ask yourself, is it going to be competitive on the market? Because every consumer is assumed to be a rational being. When I go to the market and there's a Chinese sugarcane sugar or an Indian one, and that's costing less or lesser than what is produced at Komenda, it means that at the end of the day, ours is not going to be competitive on the market. So we've raised all these questions. That what sense does it make for a factory to run for 6 months and it shuts down for 6 months for maintenance? I've never heard of this before.
6 months for
6 months maintenance, but the minister said something which vindicates our position that indeed this is a propaganda project. He said that when they shut it down for 6 months, then that will coincide with the harvest of sugarcane, which means that as we speak, no effort has been made to cultivate sugarcane to feed the factory. You get it? And if you employ people for 6 months and you shut down the factory for 6 months, are you still going to pay them? Look at the overhead cost for that period that you are not producing. So, Agba, when you put everything together, it's all propaganda. It is not any genuine effort to give jobs to the people. But there's a saying that if you don't know where you are going, remember where you are coming from. There are pieces of evidence on the ground to tell you that indeed John Mahama cannot be trusted when he says he is reviving a company. A clear case is that of Polugu. In 2012, President Mahama went to the northern region and told them, as for me, I'm your brother. We share poverty in common. Vote for me and I will better your lot. What has happened to the Polugu tomato factory?
It's not operating since it was recommissioned.
Chunk of Ghana cedis was sunk into it. And in 2012, when Alaji, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did visit the site, the goats were having a nice time over there. What has happened to it? You are from the northern part of the country. You will be a best storyteller when it comes to the Bupe share nut. What has happened to it? Do we have share nuts in the world, in the area, but it has not been able to feed that factory. Pauluk tomato factory is the same thing. The tomato in the area is not enough to feed the factory. Come to Kumasi, this shoe factory. It was a fun fair. Oh, we've revived the Kumasi shoe factory. It is going to produce shoe for security agencies, whatever. The managing director for that said, what President said, the security agencies, they were not even ordering their footwear from the company. And recently, Daily Graphic did report that the factory is indeed on its knees. So you have this piece of evidence to tell that Mahama cannot be trusted. Then what else do you have to do? People of Central Region are asking President Mahama and the NDC now, indeed, where is the sugar cane? And in fact, is na ashe no wahen. Esi ba me yejuma. Ejuma is ba me or ya ashe ne ezike esichire na ashe no wahen. This is what is on the lips of the people of Central Region.
Wow. And
Agba is indeed that we have seen through the propaganda of the NDC, and we are not going to fall for it this time. This time we are wide awake, and come 7 November, this propaganda will expose them, and we will kick them out of the Flagstaff come 7 November. Thank you.
Wow. Honorable, the submissions of Richard are quite revealing. It appears that President Mahama is doing to the Central Region what he has done to the people of the Northern Region in the past. I mean, he cited the Bupe Share Nut factory project that has up to now not grinded even a bowl of share nut. But the president believes strongly that this initiative would create 7,000 jobs in the Central Region. You are the member of parliament in a constituency where the factory is located. Do you sincerely believe that the factory has the capacity to employ as much as 7,000 people?
Let me put on record that we all support the revamping of the Komenda sugar factory. What are the main objectives for the revamping of the Komenda sugar factory? 1, to create employment. 2, to reduce our import bill. Within the last 3 years, we spent as much as about $200 million
on importation of
sugar. On importation of sugar. So going for the revamping of Komenda sugar factory, it's a joy to all of us. But are we going to achieve the objective set to revamp the industry? Are we going to see the creation of over 7,000 employment? Are we going to really reduce our importation bill as far as the sugar is concerned? Are we going to achieve that? Just as Techi has enumerated, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. We are building a factory to do what? To crush sugar cane to become sugar for consumption, right? Yeah. When we started the project about 2 years ago, with about $35 million loan from India, we knew that we were going to commission the project in May. We also know that the variety of the sugar cane that we have, it takes between 8 and 9 months for it to get mature. To be harvested. Yeah. So what prevented us to start farming in around August, September last year? What prevented us?
By now we would have had sugar to
Exactly. Feed. Didn't we know that we are going to use sugar cane as raw material for the project? Didn't you know about that? Number 2, we had a primary canal that is supposed to feed the farms. That primary canal is from Komenda all the way to Biposo in River Pra. That was where we're going to get water for irrigation. As we speak today, the canal is destroyed. It collapsed long ago.
And we knew we should have protected the canal.
As for
No, we
the
did
protection, you see, since 1999, when the project got to a halt, definitely the canals wouldn't be there. Yeah. Weeds and all those things, particularly if it wasn't a lined canal. So when we are going to use water from Pra to irrigate the lands, one of the critical areas that we're to look at is to ensure that we have the canal, the primary canal repaired, and then we look at the secondary, tertiary canals. We didn't do that. So if today we even say that we're going to develop the land for cultivation, where are we going to get water from? So didn't you plan? What did you really take into consideration in totality as far as the Komenda sugar factory is concerned? So how are we going to secure employment for 7,000 people? To do what? To do what? We are not producing. The farms are not there.
And so even if you employ them, you can't pay.
What are they going to do? Then again, if you know that we do not have our own farms as far as the Komenda sugar plantation is concerned, and we are going to rely on our growers, where are they? In my own constituency, Komenda Negwa for Brim, where are the art growers? He talked about 6-hour drive when he made mention of people, art growers or farmers who will be bringing their produce from a juice and all those. Let me not go there. Within Komenda Edna Iguafu itself, assuming that you have a farm at Abrim Brasi, assuming we used to have farms there, but no more there, all those areas now have turned to be residential areas. But assuming that you do have a farm there, you harvest, and you are carting all the way from Brasi to Komenda, a distance of about 20 kilometers. A ton of sugarcane. A ton is 1,000 kilos, as he rightly said. It's going to fetch you 60 Ghana cedis. Assuming you go with the Kia truck, this medium size Kia truck, is about 3 tons. The Kia loaded full, it's about 3 tons. You cut your produce from Abrim Brasi, or let's say Abrim Aguna, to Komenda, a Kia truck load of sugarcane is going to offer you 180 Ghana cedis, 60 per ton, 60 times 3, 180 Ghana cedis. The transportation alone, forget about labor costs and all those things.
Yes.
Transportation alone wouldn't be anything less than 100 Ghana cedis. That is within the same municipality.
For 60 cedis.
You left with 60 cedis. Is that something that's going to attract our growers to, say, turn in whatever crop that you have? Because previously, the areas that we're using for sugarcane, apart from the fact that some have become residential areas, some have also been turned into oil palm plantation. And even recently, rubber, Ghana Rubber Estate Limited came to KEA, and a lot of people are also using their lands for rubber plantation. What is now going to be a factor that will attract a farmer that let me now convert my land, which I use for oil palm or rubber, for sugarcane, because we have a factory in Komenda? It's the 60 Ghana cedis per ton. This is worrying. We need to look at some of these factors that will attract farmers to go into sugarcane production. Akbar. On the west side, a stick of sugarcane, a stick, is about 5 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
A stick of sugarcane.
Yeah.
And what is the weight of that stick? Assuming that stick is 2 kilos, assuming. It means that you need 500 sticks to become a ton 500 times 2 is 1,000. So 1,000 kilos. That's a ton of sugar cane. Why wouldn't you even be by the roadside selling your sugar
because
cane?
That's more profitable.
Far more profitable. I was with the Central Exam Minister 2 days ago, and he told me that people or farmers are selling a ton of sugar cane at between 40 and 50 Ghana cedis to those who are manufacturing molasses and others. It's as a result of that they have decided to pay 60 cedis. I'm not too sure what you told, whether 40, 50 is something that is being paid for that one. But it is even possible that 40, 50 Ghana cedis per ton is even paid at the farm gate. Perhaps. I don't know about that. I'm not too sure about that. But this one that we're talking about, you have to cut the tonnage of your sugar cane to Komenda.
At your own cost.
At your own cost. Go there, they weigh, and then they pay you 60 Ghana cedis per ton. With that additional 10 Ghana cedis bonus that they are talking about. Forget about the bonus. Let's say 70 Ghana cedis per ton. What is that? So, what we are saying is that yes, we support the revamping of the Komenda Sugar Factory. Of course, as I sit here, if our people around Komenda, Kisi, Besiasi, Domnasi, Antado, Abransa, come to Elmina, go to Iguafu, go to Abrim, having secured employment, wouldn't I be happy?
You should be happy.
I should be very happy. But with these concerns, I'm not too sure whether I should be, smiling. That is something that we're talking about. So did we really plan well for this project, and that this project is really going to secure over 7,000, employment for our people, as well as reducing our import bill? Is it really the case? I'm afraid it isn't.
Before I go to Richard, would you agree that the lack of plan is yet another sign of incompetence?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, we all know of this incompetent government that we have had within the last couple of years. Everybody knows about that. And this is a justification. It tells you that this government is very incompetent. They always fail to plan. And you fail to plan, you plan to fail. This is exactly the problem.
Richard.
We rush to do things unplanned. And at the end of the day, we come back, sit down. Is it just commissioning of a factory where on Monday morning between 9 and 11 we are cutting Kia truck loads of sugarcane to the site to show to people that yes, we have sugarcane? Who are you deceiving? It's not right. It's not right. How are we going to pay for the loan? The $35 million loan.
We got from the Indians.
We took from India. How are you going to pay for that? And I'm aware, just as Chachi said, I am told that we're going to look for $24.5 million US loan again to now prepare the land and also repair the canals. As I sit here, nothing has come to Parliament. When are we going to
approve it, deliberate, approve it,
and then have that 24.5 million
disbursed?
I mean, I think we should be serious.
So, and in between these loan proposals, the factory would be there.
Where are we going to find money to really ensure that the canals are repaired and that we'll be able to get irrigated water, at the same time have the land developed for the sugarcane factory that we're looking forward to? This is a major problem.
Well, before we move to the fishery sector in the region, I would like Richard to also tell, because somebody would say, well, we are only talking about the problems associated with the commissioning of the factory, and would want to know what the NPP would do, because there's no doubt that the NPP would win in November. But people are interested in what we would do to sustain the factory.
Agba, thank you. If it were to be the NPP, as I did say earlier on, in establishing a factory, raw material is of essence. And therefore, NPP wouldn't go and commission a factory without putting in place raw material. You see, if the issues that we are raising are not going to be addressed, then I'm afraid Komenda will go the way of Polugu Tomato Factory, will go the way of Bupe Shenad Factory, will go the way of Kumasi Shoe Factory. Agba, we are in the era of climate change where you cannot rely on rain-fed agriculture these days to feed a factory like Komenda Sugar Factory. As you speak, there are cases when you expect the rains to come, they don't come. And even over the years, the land around Komenda and its environs has lost its fertility. You get it? Where it means that we need to improve upon the agronomic practices to give us a higher yield.
Richard, we'll have to stop here and go for a quick commercial.
Okay.
When we return, you continue.
Okay.
Welcome back. Tonight we've been discussing the commissioning of the Komenda Sugar Factory. And my guests helping me do the discussion on my right, Dr. Nana Atta and Richard Techi Mensah. We'll take some text messages, and when we come, we'll continue with the conversation. This one from Nyaku in Ashanti Mampong says that President Mohammed's time is up. Another one from Andre Sapong in Kwadaso. He says that the Komenda Sugar Factory is a propaganda by the NDC to confuse the people of Central Region. The president is not doing good. And another one from Jake in Navarongo says that the NDC has deceived Ghanaians that we are now wise. They can't lie like Satan. And this one from Adu Daboya, and he says that Akbar, the long and short is that Mahama is incompetent and must go. Another one from Abubakar Mohammed from Bolga says that, good evening, President Mahama needs a second term to keep stealing. Ghanaians should shine their eyes. Richard, you were talking about what the NPP would do differently.
So if it were to be the NPP, and inshallah, 7 January 2017, when Anado is sworn in as president of Ghana, some of these things, we will make sure that we ensure that there's raw material. There's an irrigation system to feed the farm, and all the other agricultural inputs, be it fertilizer, whatever, are supplied. You see, when it was there during Nkrumah's days, we had the factory had its own sugarcane plantation where they were drawing water from Pra to irrigate it. You get? By now, all this should have been in place so that we will be rest assured that there is going to be a sustained supply of sugarcane to feed the factory. There's a research which says that for you to start such a factory, for a start, you need 1,000 acres of sugarcane. What is there? The president said that per their survey, they have 10,000 sugarcane tons in the area. And they are saying that a day, the factory is going to crush 1,250 kilograms.
That one has been disputed.
1,250 tons. Which means that with the 10,000 he's talking about, within 8 days, that will go off. Within 8 days. It means that you need a whole stretch for such a factory. You have about 7,000 acres of sugarcane for a sustained supply to produce sugarcane throughout the year. Where is it?
Even the 1,250, Bright Simon believes that it is not possible.
Yes. Where is it? Look, we have top Chufu oil palm plantation. Before they started processing their own oil palm or fruit to produce palm oil, they had the palm oil plantation. Hitherto, they were supplying to Liver Brothers. And so when they had their own plantation, everything, then they started processing it. And they brought in outgrowers to supplement whatever they had. So the factory itself by now should have had its own sugarcane plantation. Then these outgrowers will come and support whatever you have. But we don't have it. We don't have it. So where lies the truth that indeed we are going to provide 7,300 jobs for the people in and around Komenda? Where is the basis? There is nothing like that. I've been to UCC. There's a certain kind of collaboration. And I was told that the latest for a sugarcane to mature. That one they are been doing research is 6 months. So it means that even that one, for the next 6 months, we are not going to have anything. And it has been confirmed by the regional minister that for them to have a supply of sugar cane, they need to shut it down for 6 months. So come October, November, because of election, you go and look for some sugar cane and you start produce something. We are not kids, and we are no longer going to fall for this propaganda. We are wide awake, and Mahama and Yenis cannot be trusted when it comes to revival of industries. Palugu, Bupe, Kumasi, all these things are there to serve as a lesson. Come 7 November, we are not going to fall for this. Thank you.
Doc, you are a key member of the NPP. Viewers would be interested to know what the NPP would have done differently in order to keep the project sustained.
Thank you, Agba. As a member of parliament and a key member of NPP, I've said it and I want to repeat it, that we wholeheartedly support the project. We wholeheartedly support the fact that Komenda Sugar Factory has been revamped. That is a point that I want all your cherished viewers to understand. However, these critical issues that we are raising, we are asking the government that as early as possible, we should consider all these things. But Anadu will do it if they don't do it now. Why? The loan that we're going to secure, is it not Ghana that is going to pay for? So when John Mahama, president, is not there and we are President Anadu, wouldn't we continue? We'll continue. But before that, we should make sure that the primary canal is repaired. We should make sure that as early as possible, we develop the land at Komenda. We should make sure that we educate people around the area to go into sugarcane production. How would they go into that if they think that the 60 Ghana cedis that we pay for a tonnage of sugarcane is not an incentive, it's not motivating enough? These are issues that we are raising. It is very important. It is critical. We need to look at how we bring back life to Komenda. The factory alone, standing there, wouldn't bring any life to Komenda. It's not a hostel that after completion, students are going to move into it. No. There's a raw material that we need to ensure that life comes back to Komenda. These are the issues that we are raising. But let nobody think that as a member of parliament for the area or minority or MPP, we are against the project. No. I've stated it here and I repeat it. We wholeheartedly support the revamping.
In fact, and in Parliament, you supported the approval of the loan.
Exactly. And even today, this morning, we had a press conference in Parliament on Komenda Sugar Factory that we all support the revamping of the project. However, these critical issues need to be addressed urgently. If we really want to ensure that we are going to reduce our import bill as far as sugar importation is concerned. Again, that one of the major objectives that to actually reduce unemployment in central region, or let's say larger Ghana. How are we going to achieve that? We need to make sure that these critical issues are addressed. It is very important. Very, very important. That's our position.
It's amazing the kind of government we have. Yes, Richard.
They are saying that the project cost $35 million. And I've been wondering.
That was the loan.
The loan. So let's take their words for it that indeed it is $35 million. And even let's assume that it's going to create that 7,300 jobs. 7,300 jobs. So it means that $35 million can create 7,300 jobs. Then you ask yourself, that $250 million that was given to a private bank, how many jobs could it have created? The Wyoming money, the Sofoton, whatever, Suba. Mean that if indeed, when the government now was in power and was fighting corruption and was not giving money to people for no work done, you could have created a lot of jobs for our graduates, and you wouldn't have unemployed graduate association. Nurses wouldn't go to training for 3 years and they'll be staying in the house for 4 years, 5 years, unless they go on demonstration. It means that Mahama and the NDC, they are a disaster to this country.
It's amazing, like I said earlier, the kind of government we have. We're putting up a factory that has direct link to agric. But in that same period, we are cutting down investment in agric. The 2016 budget decided to reduce the allocations to the agric ministry by some 40 million Ghana cedis. That's quite amazing.
0.04%.
And it grew by 0.0%.
Even when you assume that you gave all those monies, 0.04%, now that you are cutting down, what do you expect? Negative. It means that they don't value the agricultural sector. But as a country, we are saying that our economy is an agrarian economy. You get this? Look at Côte d'Ivoire. Look at how Alassane Ouattara is performing over there. You have a so-called useful president who is being incompetent here and killing the agricultural sector. Last year also, they had about $12 billion worth of agricultural produce in Côte d'Ivoire. And here, ours was not even up to $2 billion.
Now he wants to be honorary citizen in Ivory Coast.
Because of what Ouattara has done, not here. That tells you. Even it means that we are even feeling inferior of ourselves because of the incompetence of the government in place. And I think that from next year, we're going to have a president who is going to combine what Buhari is doing in Nigeria, what Ouattara is doing in Côte d'Ivoire, so that we also will be feeling proud of our president in fighting corruption and putting the agricultural sector on its toes for us to be self-sufficient when it comes to food production, also to have real growth when it comes to the agricultural sector. You see, when you have a lot of, what do you call it? When the agricultural sector grows well, that will even bring down inflation. And even when you have one city, you can do a lot of things with it. When it comes to the central region, what is dear to our heart has to do with the fishing industry. There is this statement that we have the longest stretch of coastal line in Ghana, right down from Yenyanu to Honorable's constituency. Caucus. And what has happened in this sector? Under the MPP in 2008, the fishing industry was growing by 7.4%. And in 2009, when they came to it grew by negative 5.7. 2010, 1.5. 2011, negative 8.7. 2011 was the so-called action year. 2012, 9.1. 2013, 5.7. 2014, negative 5.7. So since they came to office, the growth of the agricultural sector has not been able to match up to the growth that they witnessed under the MPP.
And it employs a large number of
people. Look, they promised the fishermen insurance and pension scheme. What has happened to that? In 2008, petrol was an issue. We did fight it as a government in 2008. Look here, this Wednesday, September 10, 2008, a case of petrol at our pump, 2 fined $48,000, and 2 other vessels being investigated. This is what MPP did. We fought it head on. And as we speak, I listened to the officials say, these days, we don't have petrol. What we have is called bottom trawling.
Yeah.
Look,
Now they have
yes, this is daily graphic of July 12, 2013. And it was the president, John Mahama. They have registered 168 bottom trawlers. You see, the petrollers, they call them Abuanta. 2. One is here, the other one is here. And the bottom trawlers, we call them Ejuase. They are scrapping everything from the bottom of the sea. Even the fingerless, which have been...
Let me stop you and bring in Honorable Dr. Atta because our time is fast running out. Honorable, he was talking about fishing.
Yeah, the fishing industry is dear to the people of the central region. Just as he said, from Yenyanu all the way to Komenda, that is where the coastal line of central region stretches. We do fishing. But the situation we find ourselves today is precarious. The statistics that my brother Techi was giving, from 2009, negative 5.7 to 2014, another negative 5.7. There have been some positives along the line, but on the average, in the last 7 years, it grows less than 3%.
Wow.
Less than 3%.
And it employs a lot of people.
It employs a lot of people. But one of the major factors is this, that the fishing input is very, very expensive. Very expensive. I'll give you just an example of the outboard motor. The what we call the Yamaha 40. That is normally used by a lot of our fisher folk. Just before Kufuor left office in January 2009, an outboard motor, Yamaha 40, was selling us at 2,900 Ghana cedis. To our people, they know of the old system. So they call it 29 million.
29 million.
Less than 3,000 Ghana cedis. That's less than 30 million cedis. Today, it's around 125 million.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Within these less than 8 years.
In the midst of a supposed better Ghana.
Exactly. 4 times. 4. Even if it were 30. Today, if it were 120, 4 times. How are people going to?
We would have to find time and talk extensively about fishing in the central region and along the coastal towns. It's a serious issue in this country. I mean, this revelation is mind-boggling. That means that they're pushing a lot of fisher folks out of business.
You're right.
I mean, the business has virtually collapsed.
Virtually collapsed.
And the fishermen are complaining. For 8 years, you don't be able to fight petrol, and because of election, he goes to Econ, oh, I'm going to fight it. What is the evidence on the ground that you've done something? If 78 years, you've not done it, how can we trust that when we vote for you, you are going to fight it? They have lost confidence in Mahama and the NDC. And come 7 November, the people of Central are indeed going to speak. And I assure you, the MPP will win the popular votes, that's when it comes presidential, and win majority of the parliamentary seats in Central region. We are going to speak.
Your last words, Doc.
My last word is that this will go to John Mahama and the NDC. In 2012, they went round, and then some of our fisher folks said, "Yempe free education, yepe shasemo, yepe senya, what we use to carry fish in." Today, because we are still fisher folk, yepe senya, as well as free SHS, and that is what Nanado is promising us. Yepe senya. But we need to carry our fish in it. As well as free SHS. Nanado is what he's going to go for. Nanado is saying that it's restoring teacher training allowance. If you're an Elmina and your son, your daughter is in Komenda College of Education, Nanado says he's going to restore that allowance. So it's a joy to us in KE. That is what I am asking the good people of KE, the people in Central Region, and of course, the whole Ghana, that look, where we are, we need a savior. Ghana is sick.
Thank you for joining me. You have heard it all, viewers. On November 7, you have the power to effect change. We have suffered doom and gloom in the last 8 years, and we will be given the opportunity on November 7 to bring in a government that is capable of truly transforming our country and creating opportunities for each and every Ghanaian. The NPP has the record and will surely do same given the mandate on November 7. See you next week for yet another interesting edition of Minority Caucus. Good night.